Not sure. Getting lots and lots. Wala, it's wind. Hello. Make a love shout out. Hey. Come here, good thing. Isa na ato in the dry in the washing. ano, diamond there, ah?
Who's heating water here?
Me.
Huh?
It's making popcorn.
Who?
Smells popcorn.
Really?
Oh, I was about to make popcorn. I make popcorn.
here. That's fine. It's just like this. Yes, there is no worry. Yeah, right there. Anyway, there's these racers that you guys looking for racers. Yeah, when you guys wanted racers out, and then you say, "Oh, I don't know where they are." Looking for racers.
What did you eat?
Huh?
What did you eat?
Oranges.
Can you give me?
Hmm?
Give me.
Give you? I already ate. I don't have 10 or 15, I'll have very much. Yummy orange. Why, I got an orange?
Just
Huh?
this one. Maybe I should have a doctor appointment.
They'll test you right away. First thing, they'll test you for Crohn's. I mean, for that. Virus.
No, no.
Yeah, they will.
No, just stay home. Maybe they're gonna say, oh, you have corona. You have coronavirus.
Yeah.
Ala, like a blizzard.
You already got your 3 shots.
No, I got only 2. I just have 2 shots.
No, it seems like it's blowing, huh?
Mm.
Really going faster.
Amber, can you give me more oranges?
Oranges, Mom wants.
Dad, are we ready?
No, I'm not ready. Oh, girls.
Go for it! Here we go, here we go.
Oranges.
Nice.
Check your laundry.
If the first skate is a preview for the upcoming scrimmages, these should be quite competitive. If some of these girls haven't been on the ice for a while, it certainly isn't showing.
Yeah, it's what I expected. Well, it's a high tempo, high pace.
This one. Check your
I was
laundry.
definitely expecting to see some skilled kids out there. I thought like the speed and the tempo were quite good. Definitely some talented, skilled kids to work with. You can see a little bit of discrepancy for sure between some of the walk-ons and some of the invitees, but that'll all play out, and I'm sure it'll become apparent over the course of the next two scrimmages who really separates themselves from the rest.
Life moves fast, and things can get hectic. What? All the more reason to make time for First Talk. Join host Tamara Bell for a refreshing conversation.
I always look forward to the next one.
Candid chats,
There's always Botox.
and spirited discussions.
This is all indigenous money that should have uplifted indigenous people.
Time with friends is always time well spent. First Talk, Monday through Thursday on APTN.
I have an idea. Another reason to get our own place, more counter space.
Idea? RBC can show us how much home we can afford in just 60 seconds.
It's like speed dating. Fastest way to meet our future home.
New speed dating?
Pre-qualify for a mortgage in just 60 seconds.
Day scholars, it's time to submit your claim. If you attended an Indian residential school during the day and did not sleep there overnight, you may be eligible for compensation. Dawn is rising on a new day. To get more information on the claims process or to apply, visit Justice for Day.
The dimension also recorded by Ibn Battuta centuries earlier. His 10 spans is equal to 6 feet 10 inches.
It's a discovery that's incredibly rewarding. We are now able to decipher the text of Ibn Battuta and the text of Al-Balawi.
It's a huge leap forward. Converting medieval units into accurate modern measurement unlocks the true scale of the Pharos for the first time. Combining all the underwater evidence with Al-Balawi's descriptions solves a centuries-old puzzle, revealing 3 towers that match the design of the mosque, making it possible to reconstruct a lost ancient wonder in exact detail. Statues from Alexandria's museums return to their original homes. Believed to be clad in limestone, the Pharos reaches almost 330 feet into the sky. The size of a 32-story building, it's one of the tallest structures in the ancient world. And all of it is thought to be crowned by a wonder of ancient technology. Fires and iron mirrors reflecting the light and the glory of Egypt to the world beyond.
It could have looked like the first skyscrapers built in Chicago at the end of the 19th century. It's really a fabulous structure. Fabulous.
The ancients determined the 7 wonders because they met certain criteria. And so the Pharos satisfies all of those ancient criteria of innovative design that was actually built, that was actually towering.
Most importantly, the Pharos marks the gateway to ancient Egypt and the mighty river Nile.
The Nile was absolutely central to ancient Egypt. It was the seasonal flood that brought this rich black mineral mud and deposited it on the fields and made it fertile. It was actually that drove the ancient Egyptian civilization. Without the Nile, it wouldn't have happened.
6,500 years ago, farmers make these riverbanks their home. And a civilization is born. But before the famed city of Alexandria and her magnificent lighthouse, there was a city lost between legend and reality. It's the New York City of ancient Egypt, the kingdom's most important center for international trade, the place where pharaohs come to be crowned and revered, the home of gods and mythic heroes. Then, 2,000 years ago, it disappears without a trace.
The legend informs us of a city in Egypt with a Temple of Hercules that was a great emporium, a trading center. It was an enormous source of wealth for Egypt proper.
Many have hunted for the fabled city on land, but no sign of it has ever been found.
Dare to step into the wild.
Bites are one of those things you never think is going to happen to you.
And you're never too far from a deadly bite. Something Bit Me. All new Wednesday at 10 on National Geographic. Also available on Stack TV and the Global TV app.
Are you tired of clean clothes that just don't smell clean? What if your clothes could stay fresh for weeks? Now they can. Downy Unstoppable's in-wash scent boosters keep your laundry smelling fresh way longer than detergent alone. Pour a cap of Downy Unstoppables into your washing machine before each load, and enjoy fresher smelling laundry. If you want laundry to smell fresh for weeks, make sure you have Downy Unstoppables in-wash scent boosters. Shop for Downy Unstoppables online, including our lighter scent.
With so many choices, how do you pick the right dog food? Well, you want real meat to be the first ingredient, and you probably don't want chicken byproduct meat or whole grain corn. That makes the choice easy. Blue Buffalo. And now get Blue Light Protection Formula in a tasty new beef recipe.
I've been telling everyone, the secret to great teeth is having healthy gums.
Crest Advanced Gum Restorer fights plaque bacteria below the gum line, promotes gum healing, and restores gums back to health.
Bought some few bags to.
I chose Smile Direct Club for my daughter. She really liked that.
I have pieces that I have to make.
Was doing her treatment plan. For other parents, I say go for it. It is convenient and the customer service is
those
great.
Bags.
Only Clear Blue pregnancy test with weeks in clearly tells you how many weeks. Over 99% accurate. Absolute clarity when you need it most.
You want me to draw ketchup?
Heinz bottle.
I don't even know if I spelled the name right.
Heinz gets from bottle.
Got a little bit old school.
Fresh. Mustard.
That's mustard.
Yeah.
Want your clothes to smell freshly washed all day without heavy perfumes? Try Downy Light In-Wash Freshness Boosters. It has long-lasting light scent, no heavy perfumes, and no dyes. Finally, a light scent that lasts all day. Downy Light.
You haven't seen anything like Stack TV. Buckle up, baby. Watch the latest episodes from the hottest networks.
You're in my world now.
All in one place.
What do you think?
You ain't seen nothing like this.
So what's my deal?
For one low price, you can stream the channels live or catch up on the best shows on demand. Stack TV. Watch Watch now with your free trial. One of the world's most celebrated archaeologists, Frank Gaudio, believes he can succeed where others have failed by looking somewhere new.
I thought it would be extraordinary to find it and excavate it and see what it could teach us about the past.
The hunt for Heraclean begins on the North Egyptian coast. Scouring the ancient texts, Frank and his team have narrowed their search down to here, east of modern-day Alexandria, a 40-square-mile area in the Bay of Abu Qir. In 1996, they start to scour the area in forensic detail, using the very latest nuclear magnetic resonance probes and high-resolution sonar scanners, searching for any evidence that may lurk beneath these turbulent estuary waters.
You have a team looking at you for days, it's fine. For weeks, okay. For months, it starts to be very hard, and people are coming to you and say, Frank, are you sure?
All Frank has to go on are 2,000-year-old stories. They speak of a mighty metropolis in the Nile Delta, with a massive port, the outside world's gateway to Egypt, and a great temple dedicated to the gods who give the pharaohs their right to rule these lands. Greek writers suggest Heraclean exists between the 8th and 2nd centuries BC. But their descriptions are mixed up with fantastical stories of mythical heroes. From the half-god Heracles founding the city, to Helen of Troy seeking refuge in its temple with her lover Paris. As months of searching turn to years, it would be easy to suspect Frank is chasing a myth.
Of course, there is always the doubt that, is it existing really? Are you looking in the right spot, you know? All those questions give you the full responsibility of the mission, whether it fails or it does succeed.
Finally, Frank spots something. A change in the magnetic readings bouncing off the seabed, indicating that the sediment here has been disturbed by something. After 4 years of searching, it's the lead he needs. He zeroes in on one corner of the bay, where he discovers something unexpected.
There is something very strange here. It's a straight line. And in nature, you very rarely find something absolutely straight. I had the feeling that there was something very important.
Oh yeah, there's a leak in there.
A leak?
What's behind the signal?
Oh, a drip. I seen that paint dripping over there.
But they find nothing.
When you painted. I seen that the other day.
And the diver came back saying, sand, flat sand.
But Frank trusts his data.
Is that water?
Yeah, look at the black or white yan eh.
Yeah, I thought maybe you couldn't paint it. I seen that right away. Well, whatever. Nothing in this corner though. No water anymore.
With dredges, they set to work sucking up tons of sand and silt to see what lies below.
Huh?
It's a long, slow process.
Show me your hand.
Foot of sediment. We found
any water or
mixed with the sand, ceramic. It's interesting.
Maybe these houses.
Then On the third feet of the sediment.
It's in
something
the, it's in this.
Wow.
There's some water in here.
limestone block. Beautiful.
Almost baseboard.
Beautiful.
But there's nothing from there. It's an inside. Yeah, I seen that.
The quality of the limestone.
But there's no water on the wall or anything. That's just paint dripped down.
No, I know that one.
Yeah. Oh, look, you can see the paint.
No, but that black is I paint that white, but look, it's
Yeah, but how
dripping
come the paint is on the blue dripped?
It's dripping up. Maybe there's a water in there.
There was there something made by man.
Okay, well that's is the corner of the house. See, that's got to do with
It's hard for him to make out what he has discovered.
you know, coming in from
But now we can,
maybe in the roof or something.
using sophisticated computer
Oh, how-
software to drain away water.
Nothing in the
and
kitchen though, just
to
this
reveal
corner.
an accurate picture of what lies beneath this corner of Abu Qir Bay. A series of limestone blocks gradually appears, all with the same regular shape. Some are stacked on top of each other in what looks like a wall, and measuring 10 feet wide and over 500 feet long. It's huge.
Oh, kids' rooms are dry and everything. It's
But
just
just
this room.
beyond,
I told you this room is like funny because
from the position of the limestone pieces, Frank believes this was once a single
that's why I
structure
wonder why.
the size of
Well,
a
I seen
city.
it the other day, and I was gonna say what you couldn't reach or
It's a
something there.
remarkable find.
No, I
The
covered
first
that
glimpse
black,
of
but
what may
I
be
thought it's just
the
like the
famous
paint, but
lost
no.
city.
Well, I seen it. I was gonna tease you.
Finding a large structure of limestone indicates an enormous expenditure of time, energy, and resources because that limestone had to be quarried from further south in Egypt. And that tells you that you're in an important site.
Close to my.
According to legend, the most important building in the lost city was its famous temple to Heracles. Are these limestone blocks part of it? Frank needs more evidence. Returning to the drained landscape, something catches the eye. A different kind of stone. Black granite. 7 blocks of it, leading to the temple. Examining them more closely, it's clear they've been carved. The face of a man and the body of a lion. They are sphinxes. Whatever this site is, it's ancient Egyptian.
Under the ocean.
Discovering a sphinx was
The old guy used to spend years and years and you figure he was cuckoo and stuff.
And little by little, the whole picture came.
Because they're looking for this thing for years, people. And he spent went into the old scripts and
Great
everything.
avenues of guardian sphinxes still exist, leading up to sacred Egyptian buildings. The size, the limestone, the avenue of sphinxes. All signs point to this being a temple, and maybe the famous Temple of Heracles itself.
To find a missing temple under the sea, under the sediment, is something nearly unbelievable.
Is perhaps the greatest archaeological discovery to have ever happened in the Nile Delta.
And there's more. As Frank and the team scour the area for clues, they come across faces from a lost world.
It's a tough life out here. You're gonna feel challenged at every point. But I wouldn't trade it for anything.
It's my job as a parent to ensure that my kids stay warm throughout the winter. You are what you eat. Today, I am a cinnamon bear.
Time is ticking, because that's
all comes in fast. Out here, you never know what's going to happen.
Life Below Zero, The Next Generation. Season finale Tuesday at 10 on National Geographic. Also available on Stack TV and the Global TV app.
Season finale.
Now that Party City's at Canadian Tire, I've got some pretty great party ideas. Birthday rewind. Friday. Tea time. Sunday scaries. Rainbows. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Party City at Canadian Tire makes it so anytime can be party time.
Introducing the Maple Whiskey Barbecue King from Burger King, a high-end burger and a sauce made with a touch of maple syrup, whiskey, and more. A sauce that belongs on the top shelf. Try the new Maple Whiskey Barbecue King today, only at Burger King.
New Botanical Origin, the plant-based laundry detergent that's also tough on stains, like grease, chocolate ice cream, and coffee, even in cold water. Switch your laundry routine to the Botanical way.
I chose Smile Direct Club for my daughter. I really liked that there was an actual dentist that was doing her treatment plan. For other parents, I say go for it. It is convenient and the customer service is great. Smile Direct Club.
It only takes a second for an everyday item to become dangerous. Tide Pod's Child Guard Pack helps keep your laundry packs in a safe place and your child safer. To close, twist until it clicks. Tide Pod's Child Guard Packaging.
You want me to draw ketchup?
Heinz bottle. I don't even know if I spelled the name right.
Heinz, get your bottle. Got a little bit old school, fresh.
Mustard.
That's mustard.
Yeah.
Mustard. Like me on mustard.
These are not mountain bikes. These are not Muskoka chairs. This is not a fire table. It's the backcountry in the middle of the city. This is not a loyalty card. It's your ticket to getting more of what you love.
We help homeowners with the most daunting rentals of their lives, transforming nightmare properties into jaw-dropping dream homes.
I love it.
Good job. New series Wednesday, April 27th on HGTV. Go tell a friend.
It's a house of a friend.
Archaeologist Frank Gaudio has discovered a mysterious ancient temple lying
Is that the
underwater,
one over here?
just off the coast of northern
Over there?
Egypt.
Oh, that's not
He believes it may be the famous Temple of Heracles, part of the lost city of Heraklion. To be sure, he needs more evidence of when it is built and who it belongs to. Searching for clues, his team painstakingly siphons away hundreds of tons of sand from around the site, revealing parts of a huge statue.
At the very beginning, we could not understand exactly what it was because we saw something looking like a foot, but it was so big that I said, no, it must be something else. But suddenly we found the face.
Hewn from red granite, this jumble of giant limbs and faces clearly represents a number of human figures.
All I can say is, wow. That is the largest complex of monumental statues ever discovered in the Egyptian Delta. It's extraordinary and unparalleled.
Their location reveals they stood just outside the temple entrance. Discovering whom they portray could help reveal the temple's true name and purpose.
The $64,000 question is, how do you identify the individuals represented by
I
the
don't
statues
think
because they are
if
not
they
inscribed?
took it out of the water, I don't know if it would survive. I don't know. Let's say put it into a solution.
Using data from the dive, we can do something never possible before. Digitally reconstruct these long-lost figures.
Oh yeah, they can do that with the...
As the pieces come together, 3 colossal statues take shape. Each stands over 16 feet high and weighs over 6 tons. Carved atop the heads of 2 of the statues, a man and a woman, are royal crowns. A pharaoh and his queen. The presence and sheer scale of the royal couple suggests this is a temple of major significance.
Yeah, in that bay, there's a bay there.
Egyptologist and art historian Dr. Bob Bianchi studies the representation of pharaohs in ancient Egyptian art. He's come to the temple of Kom near Aswan, where he believes images on the wall may shed light on the underwater statues in Abu Qir Bay and help reveal the temple's age.
So royal images in any given period of Egyptian history are characterized by what we call a period style.
Nowhere is this more obvious than in representations of the pharaohs.
So here we have an image of a pharaoh surrounded by deities. The first thing we notice is that the pharaoh's head is protected by a sacred cobra, the uraeus, and the tail of the cobra has a little bit of a loop that goes to our left-hand side. And then there's this curious feature of the depression of the navel that looks like a teardrop navel. All of these features, from the head into the torso, are exactly the same details that we found on the royal statue.
It's evidence that both carvings are from the same period.
This particular example is dated to the Ptolemaic period, 305 to 30 BC. So in my estimation, the statue found at the site is also to be dated to the Ptolemaic period.
The Ptolemies are the last pharaohs to rule ancient Egypt before it falls to Rome. And crucially, they rule at the same time that Heraclion itself is supposed to have existed. The date of the temple in Abu Qir Bay is a likely match for the lost city. The scale and location all suggest that the temple could have been the centerpiece of Heraclion. But until Frank discovers whom the temple was dedicated to, he can't know for sure.
A lot of people think there's a bunch of crazy folks living out here.
It's definitely my sanctuary. Lawless Island, all new Monday at 10 on National Geographic. Also available on Stack TV and the Global TV app. They won't be getting any drugs past this U.S. team to catch a smuggler. All new Monday at 9 on National Geographic.
Are you tired of clean clothes that just don't smell clean? What if your clothes could stay fresh for weeks? Now they can. Downy Unstoppable's in-wash scent boosters keep your laundry smelling fresh way longer than detergent alone. Pour a cap of Downy Unstoppables into your washing machine before each load and enjoy fresher smelling laundry. If you want laundry to smell fresh for weeks, make sure you have Downy Unstoppables in-wash scent boosters. Shop for Downy Unstoppables online, including our lighter scent.
Command Future hanging strips hold strong and remove clean. Command, do no harm.
Introducing the Maple Whiskey Barbecue King from Burger King, a high-end burger and a sauce made with a touch of maple syrup, whiskey, and more. A sauce that belongs on the top shelf. Try the new Maple Whiskey Barbecue King today, only at Burger King.
At JackpotCity.net, we know how to build you the best casino. So you can do amazing things with just one chip. Our table games are honed to perfection. We have over 500 online slot games, all designed for excitement, including the world-renowned progressive jackpot slot Mega Moolah. Play for free at jackpotcity.net today on your tablet, laptop, or mobile. Jackpotcity.net. Casino games perfectly made.
I chose Smile Direct Club for my daughter. I really liked that there was an actual dentist that was doing her treatment plan. For other parents, I say go for it. It is convenient and the customer service is great. Smile Direct Club.
Gillette introduces the all-new Gillette Labs with Exfoliating Bar, a razor designed to give you a quick and easy shave. It combines shaving and gentle exfoliation into one efficient stroke. The bar in the handle removes unseen dirt and debris that gets in the way of the blades, giving you a shave as quick and easy as washing your face, so you can look like you put in an effort, effortlessly. Razor handle guaranteed to last 5 years, or we'll replace it. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Let's go.
This is gonna be like nothing we've ever seen before.
Did the doorknob just come off?
Is that right?
That we can fix. I'm gonna help the homeowners with their house. This is the living room. Oh my gosh. And turn it into their dream home. Are you ready to see your fixer-upper?
Fixer-upper Welcome Home. All new Wednesday at 9 on Magnolia Network.
Ancient records state the temple in Heracleion was dedicated to the Greek god Heracles. By the time of the Ptolemies, strong trade links between Greece and Egypt mean their cultures are closely entwined. Greeks adopted Egyptian gods, and vice versa. If this is the temple in Heracleion, both Greeks and Egyptians would have worshipped its gods.
I thought let us go and do an excavation in the heart of the temple, where normally the shrine containing the main god of the temple should stand. And we started to uncover little by little a red granite pyramid.
This unassuming stone shrine belonged to the main god of the temple. Studying it up close, it's possible to make out intricately carved shapes running down the sides. They're faded and worn, but they appear to be ancient Egyptian writing. Hieroglyphs. The 2,300-year-old message is deciphered, and it finally reveals which god this temple is dedicated to.
What we have discovered was the shrine saying, I am the house of the god Amon-Gereb. At that time we knew that we were in the temple of Amon-Gereb.
Amun-Gereb, the god who gives the pharaohs their right to rule. This is the place where the kings of Egypt come formally to receive their title. But that's not all.
There is a stela in Cairo Museum in 3 languages, hieroglyph, Demotic and Greek, saying that the temple of Amon-Gereb was also the temple of Heracles.
Finally, the proof Frank needs. He now knows that he's found the lost city of Heracleion.
It was quite fantastic. With one artifact, we had the identity of that temple, but furthermore, we knew that we were in the middle of the city we were looking for, the city of Heracleion.
Case closed. We've now been able to link the archaeological site with the Greek testimonia that came before it.
It's proof The city of Heraklion is more than a legend. Using Frank's data, the mighty temple is now revealed, just as it once stood in the heart of the city.
The Alley of Sphinxes, the Colossus statue in front.
This must have just blown you away, traveling either by sea or coming from land to see this gigantic structure. It was absolutely breathtaking.
Now, knowing the huge significance of this legendary city, Frank's desperate to find the rest of it. While temples were built from stone, all other Egyptian buildings, including palaces, were made from mud brick, which likely broke up and dissolved underwater, making this task all but impossible.
That's what's going for sure.
When the rod bends,
Now gotta go. On. Everybody struggled last year. Hopefully we can recover from that.
pray the line doesn't break. Every blue fin is as good as gold.
Let's go!
Wicked Tuna, all new Wednesday at 9 on National Geographic. Also available on Stack TV and the Global TV app.
You pop them in, you go to bed, and they do all the work.
Straighten your teeth while you sleep with Smile Direct Club Nighttime Aligners.
They don't interfere with your daily lifestyle at all.
Choose easy. Choose Smile. Get started for free at smiledirectclub.ca.
You want me to draw ketchup?
Pines bottle.
I don't know if I spelled the name right.
Pines, it's from bottle. Bottle of old school. Fresh.
Mustard.
That's mustard.
Yeah.
Are you tired of clean clothes that just don't smell clean? What if your clothes could stay fresh for weeks? Now they can. Downy Unstoppable's in-wash scent boosters keep your laundry smelling fresh way longer than detergent alone. Pour a cap of Downy Unstoppables into your washing machine before each load and enjoy fresher smelling laundry. If you want laundry to smell fresh for weeks, make sure you have Downy Unstoppables in-wash scent boosters. Shop for Downy Unstoppables online, including our lighter scent.
Hi guys, check out this head right here. What'd you do?
Tell me how you did it.
Yeah, get a little closer.
That's insane.
That's a different car.
That's the same car. Yeah, that's before, that's after.
Oh, that's awesome.
Make it new with New Finish.
What I believe in can't be contained. I believe with the right tools, we can turn what we love into what we do. Be all of who you are.
I chose Smile Direct Club for my daughter. I really liked that there was an actual dentist that was doing her treatment plan. For other parents, I say go for it. It is convenient and the customer service is great.
Smile Direct Club.
You really want to know my story? The story of my life? The truth is, I'm something that you have to experience.
Angeline, limited series premieres Wednesday, June 1st, only on Showcase.
The city of Heraklion, the former trade emporium of Egypt, now lies buried 20 feet beneath the waves of the Mediterranean. No historical texts record the demise of the city, but Frank suspects a clue lies in what happened to the city's most iconic building, the temple. Excavating beneath the temple, Frank finds chilling evidence that something catastrophic happened here.
We have here human remains. We found them trapped under a block which fell from the temple. And this, of course, reveals that there has been there a sudden event and human beings have been trapped.
Whatever happened, it happened fast. Geologist Ian Stewart tries to discover what triggered the temple's sudden destruction. Studying the location of Heraklion, he has a prime suspect.
So this is a map showing essentially the landscape of the Eastern Mediterranean. So our site is located just in this little cusp here. And from this, it doesn't really seem as if there's much in terms of danger or threat. But actually, if we put on top the tectonic template, what we find is these red lines are all fault lines, earthquake fault lines. So when you look at it, you know, this is a tectonically active area. For me, it says one thing, and that's earthquake. An earthquake has destroyed that temple.
Earthquakes regularly rock Egypt. Hundreds of quakes are known to have struck the northern coast since 2200 BC. This explains the destruction of the temple, but not how an entire city disappears beneath the waves. Using Frank's data, we can drain deeper into the landscape. The sand and silt exposes a dense layer of clay underlying the city. Although the temple is built on top of the clay, limestone blocks now lie buried within it. Nearby, the clay opens up in a huge crack, almost 2 feet wide. It's buckled up at the edges, as if something has burst its way up from below. Across the city, there are many of these strange fissures in the underlying clay. Ian recognizes this unique geological fingerprint. It reveals Heraklion was struck by a terrifying after effect of the earthquake.
It looks like that muddy seabed has been broken up and forced apart, and the process most likely to do that is liquefaction. So liquefaction is this process that if you have sediment with a lot of water in it, then the shaking that sediment forces the sediment particles apart, and under that great pressure, the water is forced up and breaks out at the surface.
Seismic activity loosens the underlying sediment, releasing water which erupts through the clay, breaking it apart to form cracks, and buckling it upwards with a force. This pressure released, the ground collapses and behaves like quicksand, destabilizing anything built on top of it.
You get geysers and fountains of water, produce like a quicksand, and it's a really scary phenomenon.
Recent events in Palau, Indonesia, reveal how this process can carry away buildings and entire sections of land in a matter of minutes. Ian believes Heraklion's location made it even more vulnerable.
So this city in the Nile Delta is built on layer upon layer of waterlogged sand piled on top of each other in an area that gets hit by earthquakes. So this is a tragedy waiting to happen.
Piecing together all the evidence, we can now finally reveal what happened to the great city of Heraklion. A massive earthquake strikes the temple, sending its statues and pillars tumbling.
Things are starting to crumble down. And everything's moving, the whole world is in motion.
Water erupts through the underlying clay, suddenly turning the ground to quicksand, engulfing blocks from the temple.
The columns would have collapsed several meters in a fraction of a second.
Loosened by the sudden release of water, the land underlying the city begins to slide downhill.
Sliding towards the sea and beneath the waves. It must have felt like the end of the world.
This great city, with its once thriving port and sacred sites, is lost to the sea.
As the sea covered the whole area and sealed the site.
An extraordinary capital of trade, wealth, and culture is gone.
It was absolutely breathtaking.
A little over a century later, Egypt itself will fall to Rome, ending the extraordinary 3,000-year reign of the great pharaohs.
This program is available in described video for the visually impaired.
Over 300,000 aircraft were lost during World War II, many of which plummeted into the sea, never to be seen again. Now, using the latest scanning technology, we can begin to understand what really happened to them, resurrecting stories of heroics and fateful battles from their long silent, watery graves. This beach on the southeast coast of England is quiet now. But 80 years ago, it echoed to the sound of a life or death struggle as gun batteries try to shoot down incoming Nazi warplanes. And British and German pilots dueled for control of the skies above. In 1940, the small seaside town of Walton-on-the-Naze is less than 70 miles from German air bases in occupied Europe. Historian Andy Saunders has made a special study of beaches just like this and the many relics of the Battle of Britain left on them. But the holy grail of researchers like him is to find a plane.
In this particular area during the Battle of Britain, there were a number of aircraft that we know crashed hereabouts, either on land, on the mud, just out into the sea.
Andy's come here to try to learn more about one of them. A British fighter he hopes will reveal how close the Nazis came to victory, and deepen our understanding of a momentous day. On August 31st, 1940, 39 British fighter planes are shot out of the skies, more than in any other day in the Battle of Britain. And on that day, an eyewitness in Walton-on-the-Naze sees one British fighter hurtling from the skies and powering deep into the soft tidal mud. For over 30 years, it lies hidden, protected from the elements.
When an aircraft impacts the sea, it's pretty much like hitting concrete, and the aircraft will disintegrate. Anything that remains that sinks to the bottom will be badly corroded by salt water, whereas anything that comes down in this sort of terrain onto mud lessens the damage to the aircraft and it protects it from oxygen and corrosion.
In 1973, it's uncovered and excavated by a team led by local enthusiast Jeff Rayner. But its remains are so fragile, they're now locked away in protective storage in a museum. Andy has managed to gain access to just a few of the precious remnants. And they leave him in no doubt about what type of plane he's studying.
What we've got here are very large pieces of wreckage. This is a lower engine cowling panel, and it's got the very typical Hawker engine cowling fastener here. This is a piece of upper wing. The important thing is that it tells us absolutely categorically this is a Hurricane.
With a top speed of over 300 miles per hour, the Hurricane is one of the most agile fighter planes of its time. And its hollow metal skeleton is designed to take the sort of direct fire that would cripple other fighters.
They were short range, but that didn't matter because they were built to defend the United Kingdom against enemy air attack. And for that, it was hard to find a better design.
To understand what happened, Andy needs to study what was left of the plane after it plunged into the mud. And now, we can help. Using the extensive archaeological evidence collected during the dig to drain the Essex coastline. As the soft mud retreats from the beach, the shell of one of the most iconic planes ever built emerges once again. As daylight strikes the Hurricane, it's obvious she is badly damaged, and that she entered the mud upside down at a 30-degree angle. Where her rear fuselage used to be is now just an empty space. But using the many detailed photographs taken during the dig, we can reassemble her. And as we turn her the right way up, there's a revelation. She's peppered with cannon fire.
We can see that there are a number of 20mm cannon strikes that have come through from the bottom of the wing and punched out the top of the wing. They've literally come through directly from underneath.
How could one of the RAF's best fighter planes end up ripped open from below? And might her demise help explain why so many other fighters also fall victim on this tragic day? To try to understand what happened, Andy travels to a bunker deep underground, to what was, in 1940, the nerve center of the RAF's fighter command. From this very room, its top commanders modeled and controlled the Battle of Britain 24 hours a day.
There were plotters around the table who would change the counters on the table, and it told the controller which enemy aircraft were coming in, at what height.
By recreating on the map the hundreds of different plane movements on the 31st of August, Andy can begin to get a picture of what may have taken place that day. At 8:15 a.m., reports reach the control room of a huge formation of German bombers heading towards the English coast. Armed with this information, Andy can turn to official RAF battle reports. These reveal that a small squadron of Hurricanes flies out of a base near Walton-on-the-Naze 10 minutes later. As its pilots close in on the Germans, they realize the bombers are being protected by around 50 fighter planes, planes the RAF had come to fear. Almost as fast as the Hurricane, the Messerschmitt 110 lacks the British plane's agility. But two powerful 20mm cannons in its nose cone are a deadly threat to anything that strays in front of it. It can land such a devastating punch that its German nickname is simply a destroyer. From the records, Andy discovers only one hurricane was shot down that day over Walton on the Naze. It must be our hurricane on the beach. And that gives him a name for its pilot. 24-year-old Jared Maffett, who's been flying hurricanes for less than 2 months. What happened to this young English pilot? And can his fate explain why the British came so close to losing the Battle of Britain?
Time's up, but healing animals actually helps heal the community.
Thank you so much.
Representation matters. Kids see us and they say, I can do that. You want to be a veterinarian one day?
Oh.
That is awesome.
You ready to be a critter fixer? Have you ever tested a cow? We get to do this as best friends. It don't get any better than that.
We're healing with feeling.
I'm Dr. Bernard Hodges.
And I'm Dr. Terrence Ferguson.
And we're the Critter Fixers.
Critter Fixers Country Vets. All new Thursday at 9 on National Geographic. Also available on Stack TV and the Global TV app. Lawless Island. All new Monday at 10 on National Geographic.
It only takes a second for an everyday item to become dangerous. Tide Pod's Child Guard Pack helps keep your laundry packs in a safe place and your child safer. To close, twist until it clicks. Tide Pod's Child Guard Packaging.
We need more early morning skies above and gravel underfoot. We need more fresh air, cool water, and more moments to enjoy what's already there. We need more connecting to the natural world and exploring all this beauty without limits. The first ever Mazda CX-50. We're more human in nature.
Try Crest Whitening Emulsions for 100% whiter teeth. With virtually no sensitivity, swipe on in seconds. Better, faster, 100% whiter teeth. CrestWhiteSmile.ca.
These are not mountain bikes. These are not Muskoka chairs. This is not a fire table. It's the backcountry, in the middle of the city. This is not a loyalty card. It's your ticket to getting more of what you love.
At JackpotCity.net, we know how to build you the best casino. So you can do amazing things with just one chip. Our table games are honed to perfection. We have over 500 online slot games, all designed for excitement, including the world-renowned progressive jackpot slot Mega Moolah. Play for free at JackpotCity.net today on your tablet, laptop, or mobile. JackpotCity.net. Casino games perfectly made for you.
Only Clear Blue pregnancy test with weeks indicator clearly tells you how many weeks. Over 99% accurate. Absolute clarity when you need it most.
The drained wreckage of the hurricane on the beach reveals it has been torn by cannon fire along its underside. Hidden away in the Royal Air Force's records, Andy Saunders uncovers a blow-by-blow account of its fateful battle. As the hurricanes catapult forward at 300 miles per hour, they find themselves below the German Messerschmitts. The problem that they and many other British pilots faced that day is that the Germans have recently adopted a protective tactic. When attacked, they form tight defensive formations that can only be broken up by a highly dangerous head-on attack. Jared Maffett hurtles up towards the target plane.
your squadron attacked a formation of about 50 enemy Womanos. The pilots broke up the enemy's defensive circles in a series of head-on attacks.
Maffitt fires on the German plane for no more than a few seconds, and then must bank to the side. Just enough time for an ME-110 to catch the British fighter in its sights.
Pilots of Maffitt turned away from the German aircraft, and as he did so, the aircraft that he was turning away from opened fire.
From the guns in its nose cone, the Messerschmitt launches a spread of 20mm cannon shells that tear into Maffitt's undercarriage. If Andy's right, it's this that leaves the unmistakable shredding pattern visible in the drained wreck. Maffitt tries to bail out, but from a hurricane, that's never easy.
What you've got to do if you're trying to get out is you've got to invert your plane upside down. You've got to remove your oxygen leads, you've got to remove your sun harness, you've got to take out your radio leads, open the canopy and drop out. And if you can't get out quick enough, what happens is you bail out at 400 feet and not at 4,000.
Maffitt opens his parachute too close to the ground, and the young Englishman is killed instantly. It's the shifting German tactics and sheer numbers of Luftwaffe fighters that help explain why Maffitt and so many other pilots are lost on the 31st of August. But the tragic loss is only the beginning. Skies over Europe were about to become one of World War II's deadliest and most decisive battlegrounds. December 1941. The USA is dramatically drawn into the war. For Chicago, America's industrial powerhouse, this presents a huge opportunity.
Wars have always been good for Chicago. Chicago made everything from toothbrushes to harvesters, and almost everything that was needed by the Army is made in Chicago.
But this is not the city's only wartime contribution. What can draining a mysterious wreck in the lake reveal about how Chicago helps America prepare for a totally new kind of warfare? Maritime archaeologists from the U.S. Navy, working alongside the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, are surveying an area of Lake Michigan. They're in search of Chicago's wartime secrets. The team uses the latest scanning technology to scour the lake bed. After several days of painstaking work, they pinpoint an object of interest and send a dive team down for a closer look.
Well, we've got 2 divers down looking at a possible wreck. We don't know for sure what it is, but it's definitely man-made. It's really exciting.
Around 100 feet down, the divers discover not a boat, but an aircraft. The plane has at least 2 seats. The fuselage has completely disappeared, but the wings are still perfectly intact. It's an intriguing discovery, but it's far from clear what type of plane this is, or what it's doing here. Peeling back the waters and draining Lake Michigan offer a better view. The full outline of a square-winged aircraft becomes visible on the lake bed. Using CGI to remove silt below the wings uncovers a surprise. The undercarriage has been engaged. This plane appears to be trying to land in the middle of the lake. Why would it do this?
The reason I work at a zoo is because of the animals.
Every animal here does have a unique story.
Diagnosis precious.
Secrets of the Zoo, Tairbug, all new Thursday at 8 on National Geographic. Also available on Stack TV and the Global TV app.
Bites are one of those things you never think it's going to happen to you.
You're never too far from a deadly bite. Something Bit Me, all new Wednesday at 10 on National Geographic.
You want me to draw ketchup?
Heinz bottle.
I don't know if I spelled the name right.
Heinz takes from bottle. Got a little bit old school. Fresh.
Mustard. That's mustard. Yeah.
I chose Smile Direct Club for my daughter. I really liked that there was an actual dentist that was doing her treatment plan. For other parents, I say go for it. It is convenient and the customer service is great. Smile Direct Club.
Are you tired of clean clothes that just don't smell clean? What if your clothes could stay fresh for weeks? Now they can. Downy Unstoppable's in-wash scent boosters keep your laundry smelling fresh way longer than detergent alone. Pour a cap of Downy Unstoppables into your washing machine before each load and enjoy fresher smelling laundry. If you want laundry to smell fresh for weeks, make sure you have Downy Unstoppables in-wash scent boosters. Shop for Downy Unstoppables online, including our lighter scent.
These are not mountain bikes. These are not Muskoka chairs. This is not a fire table. It's the backcountry, in the middle of the city. This is not a loyalty card. It's your ticket to getting more of what you love.
Is John's confidence due to his new haircut?
It's perfect.
No, it's from finding exactly what he wants with car gurus. That smirk, that's from using filtering tools that instantly narrow your search from thousands of cars to the one. Car gurus, no more, shop one.
Michelle, what is it? Conrad's dead. Who's Conrad?
Leading up to his suicide, there are text exchanges between the two of them. Thousands of them. What motive could she possibly have for telling him to kill himself?
You don't get it. This is our love story.
Divers have discovered the wreck of an aircraft, which appears to have been trying to land in the middle of Lake Michigan. Extraordinary U.S. Navy footage from World War II may shed light on this mystery. It shows military aircraft training to land on aircraft carriers on the waters of Lake Michigan. But why train here, so far from the ocean? In the aftermath of Pearl Harbor, the U.S. realizes that war in the Pacific can only be won from the air. Aircraft carriers will be the decisive weapon. There's an urgent need for specially trained pilots.
Now you can train men in airfields around the country.
But what you're not able to train them in is something essential, particularly for the Pacific War, and that's flying off of and landing on an aircraft carrier.
Safe from enemy attack, and with its massive lake, Chicago is the perfect place to practice carrier landings. But in 1942, America has only 7 carriers in commission, and all are needed in combat. So, what's the answer? Historical research into the U.S. Navy archives reveals an ingenious solution devised by Chicago engineers.
So what is decided is to take 2 steamers in the Great Lakes, cut them down, put flight decks on them, and turn them into aircraft carriers far away from the theater of war.
The Navy gives the shipyards 120 days to deliver. And in true Chicago spirit, the first ship is ready in just 59. These steamer carriers relaunch as the USS Wolverine and the USS Sabre. So what are the aircraft that train on these carriers? And why has this one crashed into the lake? Careful analysis of the design details of the wreck enables the team to close in on an identification. The plane's cockpit is positioned distinctively close to the front of the aircraft. The final clue is the telltale aerodynamic design of the turret. There's no doubt, this is a Grumman Avenger.
This big aircraft is a U.S. Navy TBM Avenger of World War II. These carrier-based aircraft were used in large numbers in the Pacific War. These craft in particular were designed to drop out of the sky, launch a torpedo, and send it into the side of an enemy ship.
With its long range and large bomb payload, the Avenger plays a vital role in the destruction of the Japanese Navy. But landing an Avenger is no mean feat. Pilots say it's like flying a truck.
Not every pilot can take off and land on a tiny little piece of a ship out in the middle of the ocean.
So it's a lot of coordination and a lot of calculation in your head to make that landing on a postage stamp. In a typical day, you would maybe have 100 pilots training. It was constant. As soon as that sun came out, pilots were landing and taking off.
For the rookie pilot, there are many challenges. Judging the strength of a headwind and the speed of the carrier. Vital for a successful landing is the pilot's ability to deploy the tailhook, catching the cable on the carrier deck to bring the plane to a halt.
Catching that wire was critical, because if you missed a wire, your aircraft was not going to stop. And that's like going from 80 miles an hour to a complete stop.
Not every attempt at landing is successful. The wartime evidence and data from the drained wreck proves this must be one of the casualties of the World War II training program. Further scanning of the lake by the Naval Search Team reveals that the drained Avenger is not alone.
As you can see here, pretty well preserved.
Extraordinary.
Yeah, very much intact.
Second World War records show that between 1942 and 1945, 8 trainee pilots are lost on Lake Michigan. And more than 120 aircraft disappear beneath the water. Fighter planes, dive bombers, and 36 Avengers. The identity and fate of the wrecked aircraft are now clear. But the identity of the pilot who crashed into the lake remains unknown. It's a powerful reminder of a vital episode in the story of America's war in the Pacific, and testimony to the courage and innovation of the men who served and trained on Chicago's lake.
At the U.S.'s busiest airports and borders, watching for a crime that's about to be committed, Homeland Security has allowed us behind-the-scenes access. When passengers have drugs, when they try to smuggle them, and when they get found, they'll get arrested by this U.S. team. They love it when a sting comes together. To catch a smuggler, all new Monday at 9 on National Geographic. Also available on Stack TV and the Global TV app.
Scott's has everything you need this year. From growing a lush green lawn to growing the good times, too. From the first times to the just like old times. And who could forget the right on times? Because no matter what time it is for you, Scott's makes it easy to let the good times grow.
This comes from Jerica in Sherbrooke, Quebec, and I thought it was worth sharing. At the start of the pandemic, I felt isolated. I was struggling, not able to go to classes or see my family. I couldn't find help. Searching online, I found the PC Health app. It connected me to a therapist virtually. It was easy and helped me get the support I needed fast. We created the PC Health app because of stories like yours, from doctors to therapists and pharmacists to dietitians, there to connect you to the care you need.
Shaw has changed the Wi-Fi game with next generation Wi-Fi 6 technology, giving you next generation speed and reliability in every room of your home, all at once, no matter how many devices you have. With Shaw, you unlock the best in-home Wi-Fi technology on our lightning-fast Fiber Plus network. Shaw, the bright way to Wi-Fi.
At jackpotcity.net, we know how to build you the best casino. So you can do amazing things with just one chip. Our table games are honed to perfection. We have over 500 online slot games, all designed for excitement, including the world-renowned progressive jackpot slot Mega Moolah. Play for free at jackpotcity.net today on your tablet, laptop, or mobile. Jackpotcity.net. Casino games perfectly made for you.
I'm a geniac, check my jaw. My clothes smell so much fresher than before. Yeah, I'm a geniac, check my drawers.
One sniff of Game Flings and you'll be a Ganiac too. The only detergent with OxyBoost and Febreze. Bye-bye, tough odors. Try new Gain Odor Defense.
Hello, Jack. I love the episode where he just pulled down his drawers. Where are we? This is crazy.
Celebrity IOU, all new Monday at 10 on HGTV.
1945.
There was no guarantee that World War II was going to end in 1945. The noose was tightening both in the Pacific and in Europe. But what was needed were breakthroughs. Breakthroughs that had yet to happen.
Hitler still controls Germany, and his scientists refine terrifying new weapons. Japan promises to fight on to the bitter end. Surrender remains unthinkable. Her generals turn instead to a new and disturbing form of attack.
By April 1945, As the U.S. and its allies push closer to Japan, the Japanese are desperate. They're surrounded.
The Allies are poised to attack Japan itself by invading Okinawa. But the Emperor's government vows to defend the island at any cost.
For the Japanese, the American invasion of Okinawa was an existential moment. This would be the first time in the war that an American boot set foot on soil that the Japanese considered part of the homeland.
A U.S. naval force of 1,000 warships moves towards Okinawa. Among them, the USS Emmons, a Gleaves-class destroyer. She's a fast, maneuverable warship whose job is to protect the larger vessels in a fleet. Armed with 5-inch guns, she packs a powerful punch. The Emmons is part of a forward line of ships positioned between Okinawa and Japan.
The Americans dispatched 16 small destroyers out to what they call the picket radar position, 40 to 70 miles beyond the fleet that was invading the island. And their job was to identify incoming Japanese threats.
These heavily armed, radar-equipped ships should be able to spot the enemy coming and defend themselves. But in an unexpected body blow, the Emmons sinks with 137 casualties. What goes wrong? In August of 2000, close to the Emmons' last reported position, local fishermen